In this video series, we're breaking down the essential concepts you must know to conquer your IGCSE business studies. So grab your notebooks, get comfy, and let's make this countdown to exams a fun and productive adventure. Need versus wants. A need is something essential for living, like food, water, and shelter. And without needs, we cannot survive. On the other hand, a want is something we could like to have, but is not necessary for living. So, wants include things like toys, gadgets, and luxury items. Unlike needs, people's wants are unlimited. Economic problem. The economic problem arises because people have unlimited wants, but there are limited resources to produce the goods and services needed to satisfy those wants. And this limitation of resources leads to scarcity, meaning there are not enough resources to meet everyone's desires. Factors of production. Factors of production are the resources needed to produce goods and services. And there are four main factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. First is land. It includes all natural resources used to produce goods and services such as minerals, forests, water, and land itself. Second is labor. This refers to the human effort and skills used in production, and it includes the physical and mental work of people in creating goods and services. Third is capital. These are man made resources used in production, such as machinery, buildings, tools, and money. And capital is used to produce other goods and services. Finally, entrepreneurship. This is the skill and willingness of people to take risks and create businesses. And entrepreneurs organize the other factors of production to produce goods and services and aim to make a profit. Each factor of production plays a very crucial role in the production process and is essential for creating the goods and services that meet people's needs and wants. Scarcity. Scarcity occurs when there are not enough products or resources to fulfill the total wants of the population. It means that while people have numerous desires for goods and services like wants, there simply are not enough resources to satisfy all these wants. So, scarcity forces individuals, businesses, and governments to make choices and prioritize how they use limited resources. And this fundamental concept underlies the need for economic decision making and the allocation of resources. Opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value of the best alternative, next best alternative that you give up when you make a decision. In other words, it's what you sacrifice in order to choose something else. For example, if you have $10 and you decide to buy a book instead of a meal, the opportunity cost is the meal because you didn't buy it. And it's very important concept in economics and also in business studies because it helps us understand the trade-offs involved in making choices. Specialization and division of labor. Specialization and division of labor are connected because the two of them focus on increasing efficiency and productivity by having individuals or businesses concentrate on specific tasks or area of expertise. By definition, specialization occurs when people and businesses focus on what they are best at. And by specializing, individuals and businesses can become more skilled and efficient in their specific tasks, leading to higher quality and productivity. On the other hand, division of labor is when the production process is divided into different tasks, and each worker performs one of those tasks. So it is form of specialization. So division of labor takes the concept of specialization a step further by breaking down the production process into smaller specialized tasks, so each worker focuses on a specific task they excel at, leading to increased efficiency and faster production. So specialization allows individuals and businesses to focus on what they do the best, and division of labor breaks down the production process into specialized tasks. So together they lead to greater efficiency, greater productivity, and greater quality in the production of goods and services. Added value. Added value is the difference between the selling price of a product and the cost of the materials and components used to make it. So, in other words, it's the extra amount a business can change for a product beyond its production cost. For example, if a business buys materials for $10 and sells the finished product for $20, the added value is $10 because 20 minus 10 equals 10. So this added value represents the business contribution to the product, which could come from the manufacturing process or additional features. And it is very important because it helps businesses cover their costs and generate profit, and it allows them to differentiate their products from competitors and create a unique selling point or USP. Sectors of industry or economy. First is the primary sector, and primary sector involves extracting and utilizing natural resources from the earth. And examples are farming, mining, fishing, and forestry. And its purpose is to produce raw materials that other businesses use to create products. The second sector is the secondary sector, and it involves the manufacturing of goods using the raw materials provided by the primary sector. And examples are factories producing cars, clothes, and electronics. And its purpose is to convert raw materials into finished products. Lastly, we have the tertiary sector, and it involves providing services to consumers and other sectors of industry. And examples are the retail stores, banks, healthcare, education, and transportation services. And the purpose is to offer services that support the economy and improve people's quality of life. De-industrialization. De-industrialization occurs when there is a decline or decrease in the importance and activities of the secondary or the manufacturing sector in a country's economy. So it means that the role of factories and production of goods becomes less significant or less important over time, and it leads to a shift or movement towards the service or the tertiary sector. And the key points are the manufacturing sector's contribution to the economy decreases, and there is a growth in the service sector, such as retail, finance, and healthcare. And this shift or movement can result from different factors, including technological advancement, outsourcing of manufacturing to other countries, and changes in consumer demand. Mixed economy. A mixed economy is one of the features both a private sector and a public or a state sector, which means that there is a combination of privately owned businesses and government controlled enterprises operating within the same economic system. So we have the private sector, which includes businesses and industries owned and operated by individuals or private companies. And the examples are the retail stores, the restaurants, and some tech companies. On the other hand, public sector includes services and industries owned and operated by the government, which includes public schools, public hospitals, and some transportation systems. In a mixed economy, both sectors work together to provide goods and services to the population, which allows for a balance between free market principles and government intervention. Capital and entrepreneur. Capital is the money that the owners invest into a business. I'm talking about here the capital as the money because this money is used to buy resources, equipment, and other necessities to help the business operate and grow. Very essential for starting and running a business. On the other hand, entrepreneur is someone who organizes, operates, and takes the risk for a new business venture. So they are the driving force behind new businesses. So they come up with ideas, gather resources, and manage the businesses, taking on the financial risks in the hope of making a profit. And capital and entrepreneurship are very connected because capital provides the financial resources needed to start, grow, and sustain businesses. And entrepreneurs use the capital for starting up funding, like to launch their ideas, growth and expansion to scale the operations, risk management to handle some uncertainties, innovation to invest on the R&D or what we call the research and development, and of course operational efficiency to streamline processes. Internal growth and external growth. From the word itself, internal inside the business, within the business. And internal growth happens when the business expands its existing operations, which means that the business grows by improving its own processes, increasing production capacity, launching new products, or entering new markets. So it focuses on growing from within without merging with or acquiring other businesses. On the other hand, external growth occurs when a business takes over or merges with another business. So this process is often called integration as one business becomes part of another. And external growth can happen through takeovers, which means one businesses one business buys out another, or mergers, which means two businesses agree to join and operate as a single entity, which means that external growth allows businesses to quickly, quickly increase their size, quickly increase the resources, and quickly increase the market share. Business integration. So we have horizontal, we have vertical, and conglomerate integration. So horizontal integration occurs when one business merges with or takes over another business in the same industry and at the same stage of production. For example, if two car manufacturers merge, that's horizontal integration because they are at the same stage in the production process, which is, of course, manufacturing cars and in the same industry. Vertical integration happens when one business merges with or takes over other businesses in the same industry but at a different stage of production. So vertical integration can be either forward or backward. When we say forward integration, it's moving closer to the end customer, like a manufacturer acquiring a retail store. Backward integration is moving closer to the raw materials. Example, a car manufacturer acquiring a steel supplier. Conglomerate integration takes place when one business merges with or takes over a business in a completely different industry. And this is also known as diversification. For example, if a food company merges with a technology firm, that is conglomerate integration because they are in different industries. Business ownership, a sole trader is a business owned and operated by only one person. And this type of business is the simplest and most common form of business ownership. The owner has full control over the business and its operations. The concept of limited liability means that the shareholders of a company are only responsible for the company's debts up to the amount they have invested. So, this protects their personal assets from being used to pay off the company's debts. Unlimited liability. This concept means that the owners of a business, just like a sole trader type, can be held personally responsible for all the business debts, which means that their personal assets, like their home and their savings, can be used to pay off the business debts. Partnership is a form of business where two or more people agree to own and manage the business together. So each partner contributes to the business and shares in its profits and losses. The concept of unincorporated business are those that do not have a separate legal identity from their owners. So, this includes the sole traders and partnerships. In unincorporated businesses, the owners are personally responsible for the business debts and liabilities. On the other hand, incorporated businesses are companies that have a separate legal status from their owners, which means that the company itself is a legal entity separate from the individuals who own it, which provides the owners with limited liability, protecting the personal assets from the company's debts. Shareholders are the owners of a limited company. Shareholders buy shares which represent part ownership of the company. And by owning shares, they have a stake in the company's profits and decision making. Private limited companies are businesses owned by the shareholders, but they cannot sell shares to the public. These shares are typically held by a small group of people, such as family members or close friends or close associates. On the other hand, public limited companies are businesses owned by shareholders, but they can sell shares to the public, and their shares are traded on the stock exchange, allowing anyone to buy or sell shares in the company. Dividends are payments made to shareholders from a company's profits after taxes have been paid, and they are the returns that shareholders receive for investing in the company. So essentially, basically, when a company makes a profit, it can distribute a portion of that profit to its shareholders as dividends. A franchise is a business model where an individual, or what we call the franchisee, buys the rights to use the brand name, promotional logos, and the trading methods of an already successful business, or what we call the franchisor. So the franchisee, the individual, pays a fee to operate the business under the established brand and follows the franchisor's guidelines and practices. And there are similarities and differences. So both of them generate revenue, dividends for shareholders, franchisee fees for franchisors. Both provide the return of investment, or also known as ROI. The difference is that cash payments to shareholders from company profits because of the dividends, and the franchisee is like, the business model where it's a business model, the franchise, where franchisees operate businesses using a franchisor's brand and system. Joint venture and public corporation. A joint venture is a business arrangement where two or more businesses collaborate to start a new project together. So they share the capital, the risk, the profits of the project, and this collaboration allows businesses to pool their resources and expertise for mutual benefit. On the other hand, a public corporation is a business in the public sector that is owned and controlled by the state or the government. So these corporations provide essential services to the public, to the people, and they are funded and managed by the government. So the examples include the public transportation, the utilities, public hospitals, the healthcare services, and even the public education. So the similarities is that both of them involve collaboration and shared goals for business growth. But the differences are joint venture, there's a temporary partnership between two or more parties for a specific project, sharing the risks and profits. And in the public corporation, the company whose shares are traded publicly with widespread ownership and subject to regulatory oversight. So it means that joint ventures are short term partnerships, while public corporations are publicly traded companies. Business objectives and profit. Business objectives are the specific aims or targets that a business works towards, and these objectives guide the direction and decisions of the businesses and can include goals such as increasing market share, improving customer satisfaction, expanding the product lines, or achieving higher profits. On the other hand, profit is the total income or the revenue of a business minus the total cost. So it represents the financial gain that the business achieves after all the expenses have been deducted from its revenue. And profit is a key indicator of a business success and sustainability. So, why business objectives and profit are connected or related with each other? Because profit is often the ultimate goal of most business objectives. And objectives can include, again, increasing of the market share, customer satisfaction, or expanding the product. So each of these aims to drive growth, efficiency, and customer loyalty, which is in turn leads to higher revenues and ultimately greater profit. So in short, profit is the key measure of the success of achieving business objectives. Market share is the percentage of total market sales held by one brand or business, which means it measures the proportion of a market controlled by a particular company or product, indicating its competitive strength and position within the industry. On the other hand, social enterprise is a business that has social objectives alongside the aim of making a profit, meaning to say the profits generated are reinvested back into the business to support its social goals, which can include addressing social issues, improving communities, or even protecting the environment. So again, market share is a percentage of total sales a company has in an industry, while social enterprise is a business that aims to solve social or environmental problem. And what's the connection? Because when a social enterprise increases its market share, it can help more people and make a bigger positive impact. So, in short, a large market share allows social enterprises to expand their reach and achieve their mission more effectively. Stakeholder is any person or group with a direct interest in the performance and activities of a business. So stakeholders can really influence and be affected by the business decisions and outcomes. And it can be internal stakeholder, it can be external stakeholder. And examples of stakeholders include the employees, the customers, suppliers, the owners, the shareholders, and the local community.